are you really doing this now? You trying to act tough for Mrs. A? Well, you cheated on Mrs. A and you cheated on my mom? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jordyn and welcome back to another Jordyn video. Welcome back to another episode of Starbies and Stories. I took a little break because I was doing back to school videos and stuff, and I don't like to do like a bunch of videos in a row, like the same videos, and so I just kind of wanted to mix it up. But now we are back to do some Starbies and Stories. If you don't know what Starbies and Stories is, it's where I try a new Starbucks drink every week and I sit down and tell a juicy subscriber submitted story. They are stories sent in by you guys, but I tell them in like a first person point of view to make them feel more personal and for privacy. So this juicy story today is my mom dated my teacher and it ended horribly. Before we jump right into the story, I'm going to talk about my Starbucks drink. This is a strawberry acai lemonade double blended. It's super good. I love it. It's very lemony, but the strawberry is really good too, and it's supposed to be like chunky, but it melted really fast. So it's like half and half, not the half and half. I had this drink in one of my vlogs and you guys asked what it was, so this is the drink that it is. So let's just dive right into the story because this is crazy. So this happened when I was in the 5th grade. I had this teacher, let's just call him Mr. C. He was pretty strict, but other than that, he was kind of laid back. He didn't like enforce the rules too much, but sometimes he would get super mad at us when we just like got on his nerves like regular teachers. Oh, Jesus. Why is this lemonade making me burp like crazy? Do I have hiccups? Okay. And at my home, nothing was really different either. My mom was totally fine, but she was a single lady. Ah, single ladies. My dad left her when I was still really young. So she was a single lady and had nothing really going on, work, taking care of me, nothing much. I started noticing some changes. First of all, her mood she was like super happy all the time, and I would be like, Mom, you're so happy, you're always smiling recently, and she'd be like, oh, it's nothing, girly, oh, it's nothing, girly. But I knew it was something was going on, something was making her happy, and of course I love that my mom is happy, but girl, I want to know too, give me the deets, maybe I can be happy too. Then one day, it came around to parent-teacher conference, and I had a C in Mr. C's class. You see how that adds up? You see how that, I didn't even plan that. By the way, he was a math teacher. My mom came to the parent-teacher conference and they were talking, whatever, and then they had a one-on-one, just like with me not really there, because he was like, I need to discuss some things with you. I'm sitting there like, ooh, what's going on? I'm nervous. When I come back, there's a shift in the room. There's an air. The air has changed. So then we left, whatever. We go get whatever we went. We went to go get food. And my mom is like super giggly and keeps checking her phone. And I was like, so I said, hey mama, who texting you? She's like, oh, nothing. Relax, nothing, get out of my business. Now let's fast forward. So now it's like towards kind of the end of the year. And there's this man that keeps like coming to my mom's house and I don't get to see who he is. Whenever my mom gets sometimes when my mom gets a knock at the door, she looks, opens the door. Girl, go back to your room. Ah, what? So then I have to go in my room, close the door, sit there, and just wonder who's at my door. And in Mr. C's class, he started kind of being extra nice to me, if you know what I mean. I'm trying to think, hold on. Is something going on? I started piecing together the puzzle pieces and it started to create a picture. I was like, oh my gosh, something must have happened. Why is he acting this way to me? And whenever my mom would come pick him up, he would do a little toodaloo. So I started piecing it together. So I turned to my mom one day. I was like, Mom, are you dating Mr. C? And she looked at me like, oh girl, you out of your mind. And then she smiled. And I was like, girl, you should have told me sooner so I could be like, give me an A or my mama gonna break up with you. Give me a A or my mama gonna dump you. I see Mr. C like 2 days later. I'm like, hey Mr. C. And he's like, hi Jordyn. you want a Jolly Rancher? And I'm like, yeah. And I was happy because I was getting some extra privileges in the class, but like not really noticeable. Like if I wouldn't like get good grades because of it or whatever, but he would like kind of like let me slide talking with my friends, let me slide going to the bathroom if someone was already in there. Like he would let me just slide. He would let me cruise a little bit. He would let me cruise a little bit. Let's fast forward a few more weeks. I'm starting to see Mr. C talk to another teacher, a 4th grade teacher. Let's call her Mrs. P. No, too similar. Let's call her Mr. A, or Mrs. A. Mr. C is talking to Mrs. A all the time. She's always coming in his classroom, bringing him chocolate or coffee. I'm a little confused because I started to realize my mama don't get those knocks at the door anymore, and I don't get sent to my room as often anymore. So I'm kind of sitting there like, did they break up? What is going on? Fast forward a few days, Mrs. A keeps coming in his room. They keep going out to the hall, talking and talking. I saw her get in his car one time. Maybe they're just discussing grades, you know, maybe they're just doing this. But I started to notice he wouldn't let me slide anymore. And you guys might be like, oh boo-hoo, he wouldn't let me slide. He started being mean to me. He would be like, I would ask someone for a question. Jordyn, I told you to be quiet. No, you didn't. But he wouldn't give me a Jolly Rancher. No more Jolly Ranchers for me. So then I go to my mama. I'm like, Mom, what happened to you and Mr. C? And she's like, nothing. What are you talking about? We're still cool. You guys are still dating. She's like, yeah, we're still dating. What are you talking about? On a Thursday afternoon at 3:36, I was playing on the playground with my friends. I see Mr. C and Mrs. A, hoochie mama, kiss. I saw them kiss. And I'm sitting there like, hold on. So then I point, and I was like, you know Mrs. A? Mrs. A? And then my friend's like, yeah, what are you talking about? They kiss all the time. I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah, I swore that you have been dating like for at least 2 weeks now. Hold on. He been cheating on my mom for 2 weeks or even more than that? So I'm over here stressing, and then I was contemplating like maybe I should walk up to him, maybe what do I do? And I had no clue what to do. I was like, do I tell my mom? Do I tell him? Do I keep silent? Who do I tell? I want to tell somebody. I want somebody to know. And I was just in shock, really. I was like, my mind was going all over the place. So on that Thursday afternoon, I go to my mom, I'm like, Mom, you and Mr. C still cool, right? He just came over. While you were at your friend's house, he came over. And I'm like, wow. I didn't know what to say, because a part of me didn't want to believe what I was hearing and seeing, but I was in complete shock. Let's go on to the next Monday. The next Monday, I'm in his class, sitting there, and he just starts yelling at me for every little thing. And I'm like, so you yelling at me when I could literally ruin your whole career. So what are you doing this for? I creaked the chair. Jordyn, stop doing that, be quiet. I'm like, can I sharpen my pencil? No, sit down. Can I go to my bathroom? You should have went before, Jordyn. What? He started getting on at me for things he had never done to anybody else in the class ever. I take out my water to drink. Jordyn, no drinks allowed in the class. I can't have water? If you want water, you need to go out to the hallway. What? I was so confused. I was like, are you really doing this now? You trying to act tough for Mrs. A? Well, you cheated on Mrs. A and you cheated on my mom? You trying to do this to me? I meet him after class. I'm like, Mr. C, why are you acting like this? He's like, I'm not acting like anything. He has an attitude with me. For no reason, I didn't do anything to him. So I'm like, I say, I know what you did. First of all, I don't know why I said that. I was just mad, okay guys? He says, what? What are you talking about? I say, you heard me. I know what you did with my mama. And then, I need to sit, because this is getting juicy. And then he says, your mama? What about her? And I'm like, oh, what about her? But what about you and Mrs. A? And I froze. I was like, I gotta go. And he was like, what are you talking about? Jordyn, come here. You're not about to get in my personal life like that. And I was like, what personal life? You made it public. kissing on the playground. I didn't say that, but still, made it kissing on the playground. There are kids around, children. I left. I just left. I walked away, and he kind of be like, Jordyn, Jordyn. I didn't actually say my name. It was the girl's name, but again, privacy. And I'm like contemplating, like, do I tell my mama? Do I tell her? And then I text her while I'm walking out. I'm like, Mom, I got something to text you when I get in. I got something to tell you when I get in the car. She's like, what do you have to tell me? And I kind of regret texting that. I was like, no, I shouldn't have texted that because now I don't want to tell her. She's like, Jordyn, tell me, or I'm gonna ground you. Don't want to get grounded. I'm like, Mr. C cheating on you. He was kissing all up on Mrs. A. I saw him on the playground on a Thursday afternoon. She's like, what? My friend said she saw them kiss multiple times, and I saw them myself. And she went silent, cold. Got up her phone, dialed a number, and went, C. Hey, Mr. C. And she started going off. She started going off. She got out of the car and raced to the classroom. Started going off. I come back on Wednesday. Mr. C's not here. There's a sub. So I'm like, oh, maybe he just out sick. Mrs. A ain't here either. Alright, this is adding up. Mr. A and Mrs. C, Mrs. A and Mr. C are not here. Next day, Mr. C not here. Next day, Mr. C not here. Next day, Mr. C not here. But Mrs. A is here. So I'm like, I asked the sub, I'm like, where's Mr. Because it's the same sub. I'm like, where's Mr. C at? Well, he hasn't been here for so long. Oh, yeah, he got put on pause. I'm like, what? Put on pause? And he's like, yeah, he can't come back for a little while. He's like, oh, but he'll be back soon. He'll be back soon. He just can't come back for a little bit. So I'm like, do you know why? And he's like, I can't give that out. So let's just kind of like wrap this up. Mr. C and my mom dated for a while. I couldn't see them. I didn't know about it. And then my mom told me. And then I saw him sneaking around with Mrs. A. I saw them kiss. I confronted Mr. C. I confronted my mama. My mama did something and got Mr. C kicked out. And either he quit or something because I ain't seen Mr. C ever again. I didn't see him ever again. Like, he did not come back after that. We just like got a new teacher. I ain't seen Mr. C after that at all. But come to find out, he got fired. Apparently for causing drama and unfairness to the kid or whatever. And it was like something bigger than that. He probably did something else, but yeah, he got fired. I really wanted to know what my mama did, but she would never, she still won't tell me to this day. But yeah, don't cheat, kids. Yeah. That is the story. It was kind of long, I'm sorry about that, but it's super juicy. It's crazy how like so much happened. Like, oh my god, he kissing on Mrs. A. Ooh. But that was a really good story submitted by, I'm not going to say her name for privacy, but it was a super good story and it was super funny. I honestly really loved it.
I think that they don't like videos that don't have me in there.
Say something then. Say something funny.
No, I'm about to yell at you for almost breaking those.
No, because I didn't break them.
Sorry.
I hope you guys enjoyed this story, and also make sure to send in some of your stories if you want to hear your video, or if you want to hear your story on my video. You can do it on my Instagram. You can send it as a DM or slide in the DMs, or you can go down in the description where I have my email and you can just email your story there. I would prefer you to email it because sometimes the stories on Instagram can get a little messy. But yeah, just make sure to submit your story and title it Starbies and Stories so I don't get confused. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Do all that fun stuff, And I'll see you guys next time. Bye! Love you! And don't be kissing teachers on the playground.
What the heck?